In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to make anabolic French toast. If you guys do not know, my brother actually is at college right now. And I am making some anabolic French toast because I actually made some beforehand. And if you guys don't know, there's a YouTube video on it, how to make it, but isn't that really that good? So I kind of want to make my own video, so that's what we're going to be doing here today. So let's just get straight on into it. First thing what we're going to need is the following, is our pan. I actually set it on heat for the time being. And we're going to need vanilla extract, ground cinnamon. We're also going to need our egg whites. There's a total actually of, what is it, 16 in this? This should be exactly 16. 16 ounces of egg whites. We'll add more later, but we're going to make two things a loaf into anabolic French toast. That is the plan. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to need to do is take our egg whites, of course, just pour it into our bowl right here. That's what we're going to do first. And now what we're going to do after we've done that, we want to take ourselves our vanilla extract. And we're going to do 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract into the actual bowl. That way we give some flavor to our anabolic French toast. Now, you can use a little bit, you can use a lot. I usually use 1 tablespoon. I'll add more during the process. So we're going to set out that for the time being. Now that I got on that, we can close the rest of this, which is pretty cool. And now what we want to do is we're going to grab our ground cinnamon. Now for this, how you want to do it is usually just going to put 2 things of it in by just like tapping it 2 times. So watch, I'm going to like do that. 1, 2. With that, what we're going to do is take our spoon or fork and start stirring it for a bit. I'm going to start stirring it thoroughly like so. You can see right here, I got my anabolic French toast stuff. You just want to stir it and make it thorough so it looks kind of like a brownish, reddish color. It's going to look really sus, I'm not going to lie, guys. So we're just going to do that for a little bit. Now that we got it all mixed together, as you can see here, I'm going to show you how it looks because it's quite sus, and I'll actually help identify what it looks like when you eat it. It's going to look something like this when it's finished. I know, it looks pretty sus, I'm not going to lie. And what you want to do with this is get yourself a pan or something to place it into. So what they're going to use here is this for my toast. That way I can actually nicely flip my toast in it. So we're just going to take our egg whites and stuff like that, pour it into the bowl. Make sure it doesn't spill, of course. You don't want that happening, that would be pretty bad. And now you just want to grab your toast. So I'm going to be cooking 2 loaves here, and the whole point of this is usually for like working out and stuff like that. You want to make sure the toast, or this bread overall, just absorbs the actual moisture of this, because this is from like working out or just trying to have a simple meal every day that you can easily make, and that way you don't have to go out and buy things. That's the big thing with it. So what we're gonna do is just take our toast like so, flip it on both sides 1 to 3 times depending on the situation, but you'll be able to tell when your toast is like good because it'll be like pretty much really absorb the most moisture it can, and it feels like it's gonna break apart like a cookie, like an Oreo cookie, like that kind of deal. You don't want to do that, so you just want to take your thing now, place it in the pan, and then you just want to wait for it to nice and cook thoroughly, like so. You're gonna give it a few seconds, and then you're gonna flip it. Now, I am going to do this for a few pieces. Usually, I run 2 pieces in it. I could run up to 3 pieces in this pan because of how big it is, but I usually just don't do that because usually I want to make sure I can nicely cook them thoroughly. And that's me just doing my thing as a chef. So I'm just gonna do my thing. I was actually really a baker, but I have some chef skills. Let's actually place that in there now. And we're good. We're just letting this cook. Now the big thing you got to keep in mind is when you're making this kind of stuff is that when you're flipping it, you want to make sure to flip it thoroughly, and you'll be able to tell too when it's done. And I'm going to show you how to tell when it's done. But I usually run it at 3 or 4. Sometimes I'll increase it to 5 if I'm trying to be really productive and get other stuff done in the background. So I'm actually going to increase it to actually 5 right here, and we're just going to let this run for a little bit, and then yeah, we'll flip it again in just a short bit. Usually I give it like 2 to 3 minutes, and I'll flip it each time, and that way it cooks thoroughly. Now the thing with this is that you just want to let it cook and make sure it feels kind of like a sponge. You'll be able to tell like if you're doing a good job, if it's like spongish. It's kind of weird feeling, I'm not gonna lie. That's what I'm saying. And you want to just make sure to keep flipping it, because you'll be able to tell like when it's thoroughly cooked. Usually it takes like 4 or 5 flips. Usually it'll take about 6 or 7 minutes to actually cook, and then it'll actually be done. But yeah, I would highly recommend just bring your phone down, bring some headphones down, and just start listening to some music while you're vibing. And yeah, these are actually almost done. You can actually tell based off the coloring of the texture. So you can actually see right here. I'm gonna give you a nice like look. You can see also this is pretty hot. We're just gonna ignore that. But you can tell by the browning right here that's almost thoroughly cooked. It's gonna kind of either look some glazy, or it's gonna kind of look nice and rough, nice and brown. It's kind of hard to tell when it's fully cooked, but usually you want to just make sure that you cook it, looks like this, and then cook it a little bit more. That way it's like thoroughly cooked since it's got the egg whites. And just be careful that when you're cooking this kind of stuff. Okay, so by the way, if you are gonna save this and use this for later, get yourself a tub, because this is gonna be placed in the fridge and then you just use it anytime you want to eat some. So I'm putting my tub right there. got my first 2 pieces done, and now I'm gonna kind of just rinse and repeat the process. So we're gonna take our first 2 pieces, put this in here because I'm not gonna eat these because these are from my brother. But I'll probably use some of these for like the thumbnail. Get a nice little picture with some syrup on them, and yeah, that'll be pretty cool. So now what we're gonna do is gonna just rinse and repeat the cycle. We're gonna grab ourselves our toast, of course, throw it into our egg whites, flip it, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then of course it's gonna feel like an Oreo cookie. And you're just gonna take this piece you just got right here, wait for a bit. Oh, it's breaking. Gonna be careful about that. I almost forgot about that. It tears. And you just wanna throw that in there like so. And then of course, same thing, rinse and repeat. Take your toast, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then just double check it. And then feels like an Oreo cookie. That's a good sign. Throw it on in. And then just rinse and repeat the full process for how many looks you're doing. Now, just want to quickly say, if your sussy back of stuff is running low, like you can see in this plate here, it's actually on one side now. What you're gonna do to actually fill this is pretty straightforward. You're gonna grab yourself your egg whites, whatever egg whites you have, of course. You just want to fill up your thing, and you can fill it by how many ounces you want. Usually, I just do it instinctively. For today's video, I'm gonna do it more accurately. Just for anybody who's out there who's wondering, I'm gonna do actually another 8 ounces. So we're just gonna go to 8 ounces real quick. And we're gonna take that 8 ounces. Well, it's not exactly 8 ounces, but we're gonna pretend that is. It's perfect for the time being. And we're gonna throw that into our bowl, of course. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your vanilla extract. You do a smaller amount. So I did 8 ounces. So what we're gonna actually do is we're gonna do ourselves 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So then what we're gonna do is that way fill up our bowl that we are using. You actually cook more of our stuff. Now, the only unfortunate thing is vanilla extract is actually expensive right now, unfortunately. But yeah, you just want to add a little bit more of that. Once you have that teaspoon on in, what you want to take, of course, is your fork. And just, restir your bowl, of course, that way it's nice and thorough. The good thing about ground cinnamon is one of those dry actual ingredients, meaning it's really hard to use all of it when one serving or cooking anything. So you won't really have to add any more unless you're doing an even larger quantity of actually, Anabolic French Toast. So if you're doing the amount I'm doing, you won't really have to use that much, besides those 2 things of it. And there we go, the Anabolic French Toast is all finished and ready to go to be delivered to my brother. Not gonna lie, we got a lot out of that. We got ourselves 2 loaves worth, which is honestly pretty insane. Hopefully you guys did find this video interesting or even helpful. If you did, make sure to smash the like button, get subscribed. Very much appreciated. I'll see you another round for the cooking video, hopefully here on the channel. But yeah, until then, G-Men out.